Good morning! This is Happy Hearts and...
Healthy Hearts, goddammit.
This is Healthy Hearts and Guillotines. My name is Chessie. I'm here with our health and wellness consultants.
Zakim, wonderful to see you.
Good morning and welcome back. We've taken a bit of a break here, although that may not actually show up in the final recording here.
Hell yeah.
I've had COVID for the last month, so if I'm coughing into my microphone, I wish to apologize. I'll do my best to edit it all out. This week, we are talking about diagnosis, misdiagnosis, and the difficulties of diagnosis.
Specifically about the mental aspects, the mental
Yes.
diagnosis.
We're gonna lean first definitely into the mental health side of things because I think it's probably the place we have the worst use cases for diagnosis.
Yes, we do. It's quite simple to diagnose if you have a broken bone, if you have, shingles, if you have some vitamin deficiency. There's a blood test and it says yes or no.
But mental issues, the brain is so complicated that trying to diagnose mental issues, you can end up diagnosing someone with everything. I believe I've mentioned it in the past that I've been diagnosed with everything except GID, gender identity disorder, which was insane because that's the one thing I definitely do have.
I guess they didn't have a drug to give you for that.
They didn't have a drug, no. There were no chemicals for gender identity disorder except estrogen, and this was North Carolina in the 90s. There's no universe where they give me estrogen. So what about you? You mentioned that you have been having some difficulty with diagnosis lately. What's your story with diagnosis?
Here in Lithuania, they like to diagnose not as quickly as in America back when you had your issues.
Oh, to be clear, my issues, the diagnosis situation in the US hasn't changed. They're still diagnosing people on your first visit.
People and kids and everything.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
At least in Lithuania, they'll take a visit, maybe two. I mean, if it's intense, they might take one because their primary objective is to not let you die. That is all a psychiatrist, a public one, can do for you, basically.
I love the idea of a public psychiatrist. That is so out there to me. Because in the U.S., the only public psychiatrists are the ones in mental hospitals, and you can only see one of those if you tried to hurt yourself or somebody else.
We still have those here. And again, most of these public ones, they have 15, 20 minutes for you.
Right.
Which, to diagnose someone, that's a joke. That is a joke.
That is not enough. Particularly if you're, unless you're very specifically talking to people who aren't in the room, that is not enough time to diagnose anything.
No, you could have suspicions and then please come for another 6-7 visits, 1 month apart.
Do they charge you for these things?
The public ones, no. But
okay.
There's a reason why people go to the private ones.
But 6 or 7 visits can take months.
Yeah, so they just diagnose you with whatever, give you whatever drug, and send you on your way.
I'm just picturing that they have this little bottle of pills in the cabinets just labeled whatever.
Well, the thing is, diagnosis can be very inaccurate.
Right, yeah.
But re-diagnosis is very rare. Very.
Wait, so it's acknowledged that the initial diagnosis can basically be crap, but fixing it is rare?
Yeah, to re-diagnose it, to say, okay, maybe you don't have this one. You have a different disorder.
That is depressing.
It is depressing, especially when the medicine for various mental diseases has been shown to, well, you just have to mix and match, try your luck. And if we have, let's say, I'm going to be like lowballing it here, 20 different antidepressants you can try, then the combination, if you say you can do 2 or 3 at a time, well, I'm bad at math, but that is a lot.
That's a not small number.
And if you need a month to try each one, well, you can just end up waiting your whole life to get better and not get better.
Never actually improving.
And
I don't like that.
no, that is very depressing. And the psychiatrist can always say, we just haven't found you the right drug against your depression. Or the reality could be, you don't have depression, you have something else, but it wasn't diagnosed correctly and now you're stuck with the label. And the worst part is, you probably believe it.
And don't have any options to go in and say, I need you to pull all the labels off and start again. Here's what's going on. In the US, I had a viscerally opposite experience, which was every time I went to a different therapist, and this was as a child, mind you, but I know plenty of people who've done this as an adult, I'd go to a different psychologist or therapist, and they would diagnose me with whatever was in vogue.
Oh.
It was whatever was popular then. I definitely had that.
So it's the same craze with whoever was on TikTok diagnosing themselves with ADHD.
Yeah, exactly. It was fashionable diagnosis. So in the 90s, it was ADHD. And then in the early 2000s, it was Asperger's. They loved that one. They also diagnosed me with ODD, which was a thing that we were pushing when we were sort of doing the whole certain people are just inherently criminals thing. Oppositional defiant disorder.
That just sounds like the kind of thing people would diagnose you as like, hey, they're trying to dismantle the system. Get them.
Borderline personality disorder, which I have no idea where they got that. That was in the middle 2000s. And bipolar disorder.
Can't see that.
No, and neither could my parents, or at least neither could my mom. But I got a fresh drug for every one of those things.
Pretty sure that has no lasting consequences whatsoever.
Yeah. It. I had a really odd childhood. It was like being on a drug trip all the time.
Well, wasn't it technically?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
I mean, now that you say it out loud, yes. I mean, we've talked about this before. It was weird.
Yeah, and you know what the big issue is? You got no refund on any of that suffering or time lost or money spent. It feels as if, well, it doesn't feel like it. It really is that we don't hold these professionals
to any kind of account.
No accountability at all. I had once, they had given me serotonin syndrome. They were like, not even a whoops, not even a SAR. It's like, okay, we'll change it. It's like, excuse me, I could have died.
Yeah.
Nope, nothing. Another time I was diagnosed with benzodiazepine addiction.
You don't take bennies.
That's the thing, I don't.
What? No. Okay, hold the phone here.
That is the
How
thing.
do you get diagnosed with benzodiazepine addiction?
It's simple to diagnose. If you're using it and now you're showing signs of withdrawal, then okay. If you're not using them, but you're a shitty doctor and no one holds you accountable, you can do whatever you want. You're like your little god and you have your own little playground.
But benzodiazepine withdrawal has, it's got all the same symptoms as, depression. Like, severe depression. Other than, okay, you might get the shakes on when you're coming off bennies, but it's still not... That sounds like you just diagnose someone who's not using the drug with.
If there's no accountability, they can do whatever.
And the doctor's just feeling like being a dick that day.
Yeah, let's say they don't like you, they don't like the way you look. Hell, they could...
The way you talked to them.
Yeah, not enough respect to your superiors.
That is scary.
And that is why many people have horror stories about private doctors, because the private doctors are hard to get rid of.
Okay, I have one more question about that.
Go ahead.
A benny's addiction, as far as I know, in Lithuania, screws you with your ability to get a driver's license.
Yep, it does.
What? How do you get this sort of thing stricken from your record?
Good question. Probably going to either... we do have a very vague process of appealing a psychiatrist's decision to the clinic in which they work in. And if that doesn't rectify itself or it doesn't satisfy you, then you go to the general commission that handles that.
Lordy. I assume that's the path you're on right now.
Yep.
Because you need your driver's license.
I like driving every, once a month, maybe once every 3 weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, you do, every time I've seen you in a car, you seem fairly happy. To be just unable to drive would suck.
I mean, yeah, if a bus takes an hour and a half and a car ride takes 10, I'm not saying I like cars, I'm just saying.
Going to take the 10 minutes.
Calculating the hourly cost of taking a bus is depressing at that point.
Yeah, true. All right, so
what can...
We're back after a quick break there. So continuing on, I want to talk a little bit more about overdiagnosis outside of apparently your benzodiazepine addiction.
Yeah, I've got it down hard. I've been taking 0 milligrams every day, and it's just too much, man.
It's just too much. Overdiagnosis is obviously potentially life-ruining depending on which country you're in.
Mm-hmm. Because you might actually believe that diagnosis.
Yeah, or, one of the things that has been a problem for many years in North America is some countries just won't let you in if you have a diagnosis of some kind.
Really?
Oh, my favorite one is Canada. Canada won't let you in if you're diagnosed with autism.
Canada is discriminating against autists. I didn't know about that.
It's very irritating because we thought about moving to Canada. It's close by, but the downside turned out to be it's close by. I don't want to be near the United States right now.
Well,
but it's potentially life-ruining to have an overdiagnosis.
Instead, there's, I guess, immigration is one thing I didn't think of because there's several diagnoses that would prevent you from working the job that you need to survive.
Yeah, if you were a Bolt driver in Lithuania who got diagnosed with benzodiazepine addiction, you suddenly couldn't drive, and that's sickening.
Yeah, just take away your job like that. Mm-hmm. Some would threaten your ability to either adopt kids or be a legal parent to your own kids.
Yeah. The oddest thing about overdiagnosis is to me that in the United States, there's obviously a profit motive for overdiagnosis. The psychiatrists get kickbacks from the medical industry and kickbacks from the pill makers and so on and so forth. But in Lithuania, there's no financial incentive to misdiagnose someone or overdiagnose someone. It's just laziness or malice.
Usually laziness, incompetence. It's a government position in a country like Lithuania. It's hard to get fired from, easy to get complacent in, and a wonderful spot to rot in.
So just laziness is 100% one of those things that can happen if your career prospects are, I got the job, I'm here until I die.
100%. Every good doctor I've seen jumps clinics every few years until they go into a good one, which usually means private one.
Private versus the ones where you see who've been at the same clinic since the Soviet era.
Yep. And you wonder, why do they have a 1.7 star rating? I'm not even sure how you go that low, but...
So that's overdiagnosis. Now I want to talk about just some of the problems of diagnosis as a concept.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a broken bone or your liver is malfunctioning, you have a vitamin D deficiency, that stuff is fairly easy to diagnose.
It's clear and cut. Do you have a test? For a broken bone, your eyes are enough.
The problem being that our doctors get stuff like that wrong all the time.
All the time.
Right now, one of my friends is hunting for a diagnosis of what on earth has made it possible for their left leg to turn 90 degrees inward since they were a small child. They've now had 2 MRIs, plus x-rays, and multiple doctors looking at it, and finally, after 3 months of agony, like literally agony, 3 months of going through the medical system, and 20 plus years of physical agony, finally got a diagnosis that at some point as a small child, they tore a muscle and it never healed.
A torn muscle. Yeah, that would explain a 90-degree shift, yeah.
In between, they have been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, major rheumatoid arthritis, something involving like sacks of juice building up in their joints. I can't remember what the name of this particular condition was. The hyperextensive condition where all of your joints just have no cartilage in them.
Yes, I know that one.
You know that one.
It's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
That one. They've been diagnosed with that, and finally get this diagnosis that says, oh yeah, you just screwed up what you had one of your hips severely damaged when you were an infant in an orphanage, and that's what happened. They have been getting all these diagnoses one after another, and no one providing any assistance until this one. And the final diagnosis is, oh yeah, you got hurt 30 years ago. The treatment would have been surgery within 72 hours of the original injury. We can't help you. That's the sound of my head exploding.
Yes, and the thing is, if you're that friend who got the first diagnosis, you don't know about the possible future diagnosis that would be more accurate. You're like, well, I guess I have this. Let me use all the available treatments and drugs for this condition, and then if it doesn't work, maybe I give up or I try to get a different diagnosis.
Where mental health is concerned, if you are stuck in a diagnosis that, I'm going to use an unpopular word here. It used to be a diagnosis that was very common. I think all the way up until the 80s, they would diagnose you as mentally retarded. We were still using that until, 12 years ago?
Wow.
And there are plenty of countries which haven't updated their diagnostic manuals to remove mentally retarded. You can still get diagnosed with that. Versus being on the autism spectrum, ADHD, all the various other things that can cause a person to have developmental delays. The problem with the kind of diagnosing that we use for mental illness is it's a medical diagnostic. The idea is you get diagnosed with something, that's what you have. And any treatments that are come up with later on are all meant to be treating that one thing, even though we have had more shifts in our understanding of mental health than almost any other science in the last 150 years.
Yeah, I've looked at the history, and it is amazing how before we thought you just need some different chemicals in your brain, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's literally just, if we can alter the chemicals in your brain enough to make you happy, that's all you need. That's how we got heroin as the recommended treatment for a long list of things. Colicky babies, give them the heroin.
Yeah, to those unaware, most street drugs eventually started out as pharmaceutical drugs for some or other condition.
And the ones that we've since proven to be safe were not. So you have drugs like cocaine.
Yeah.
the version of cocaine that we have now is vastly stronger than the one that Freud was applying to his gums.
Mm-hmm.
But things like weed, the version of weed that we have now will send you to the planet Zod, versus making you feel a little bit calm and maybe making your joints hurt less. So much of what we have done in medicalizing mental health has been creating a situation where we have people who are only experts in the moment. And then the science moves on a year, 2 years, 3 years. Those people are still stuck in their moment, still diagnosing things like they were in their moment. And their well-being or their financial well-being is based in the moment that they were at the forefront of their science, even though that moment is freaking gone.
It is long gone.
The only way I've heard, and this is just like the last few years, the only way I've heard to counter this is getting medicalization out of mental health.
What does that mean?
It means that instead of trying to pin someone down with a disease that says, you have ODD, you have ADHD, you have autism, you have all these things, you say, these are your symptoms, and treat the symptoms as it is possible to treat them without creating a disease for all those symptoms to become.
Mm-hmm. And of course, when possible, to take care of the cause of the symptoms.
Yeah.
Because for all of the mental health diseases we have, there is a cause. We might not know it, but we can do something about it. Maybe it's just symptom control. Maybe you're not depressed for no reason. Maybe your family is terrible and they hate you for being who you are.
Environmental reasons are real powerful. Frequently what we're discovering is that whatever your mental health issue was, it was something that happened to you years ago, and you needed coping mechanisms for it then, and then it's just grown scar tissue in your brain over it. And now that you are at a point where you are going out and looking for coping mechanisms, you have to now climb through all the scar tissue first.
Yeah, and actually rebuild yourself, which sounds very, nice and wonderful, maybe even romanticized, but it's difficult, painful, and alone it's often impossible.
Yeah, I would not wish to try to deal with mental health issues alone, but dealing with it with psychiatrists and therapists comes with this other danger.
I'm just going to put it out there that if you, while being still in America, complain to a psychiatrist about your symptoms, we got so many different, diagnoses.
Oh yeah, heaps, piles.
But your actual issue was you were in America.
Yep. I'm a much happier person for no longer being in America.
Yeah,
it's not perfect, but me personally, if the political issues in the United States weren't going on, I would be so chill. I would be sitting under trees. I would be eating nuts and berries. I would be full happy fairy in the woods. Most of my current mental health issues are related to things that are my attachment to my home country.
And the people that are there.
Some things you just can't cure with a medical diagnosis of...
No matter how many drugs they would give you, you would still be in America.
Still be in America, yeah. And at that point, just go for the heroin.
Probably cheaper.
It's probably cheaper than being an American, yes. Point being, how would we, in looking to get away from misdiagnosis, overdiagnosis, or medicalization, what do you look for in a therapist or a psychiatrist to tell you that this person is someone that you can trust, who's not going to do those things to you? And what do you say to them to create, the kind of boundaries you need so they don't attempt to take away your driver's license by giving you a Benny's addiction in your chart?
Well, of course, one of the things that everyone knows is to check the reviews. No one's going to have perfect reviews. Doctors are most, I want to say, susceptible to it because...
You can't be right every time.
Well, no. A mathematician, maybe most times, but a doctor can have issues, definitely. Especially when it's all based on symptoms. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the patient itself can say the symptoms inaccurately, miss out some, not mention some.
Yeah, that's true.
But in Lithuania, almost definitely go private whenever you can.
Go to a private doctor.
The doctors who are good enough to go private will. The ones that can't will stay public.
Oh, that feels vicious, but...
It's vicious, but if you were good enough to get paid 90 euros an hour instead of 20, well, you probably would take the 90.
You'd probably take the 90, that's true.
And one of the things that you do want from someone who can treat you, not just with medication, but of course that is someone who has a license to be a therapist, not just a psychiatrist. Because most psychiatrists can listen to you, and in the end, they can either refer to you to a therapist.
Mm-hmm. Or they can go straight for a medical diagnosis style thing, which is, here's the drug.
And in order to give you a drug, they need a matching diagnosis.
Right, which lends itself straight, again, into the medicalization thing.
It is. So if you would want to hold back or avoid medication, because sometimes, like we said, you're not depressed. You just need someone to help look into your life and say, hey, I think your family's manipulating you into a cult.
Yeah, or you live in the demented cyberpunk hellscape that is the United States in 2025.
Yes, and you would need someone to help you through that life
and
challenge.
Create goals and things like that.
Yeah, to have someone who can support you and guide you to achieve your own goals. Because mostly in psychiatry is diagnosing and giving a drug and trying to match them so you could do your therapy as best as you can.
All right. Well, we're coming to the end of our show today here. And before we go, I wanted to go ahead and give our 5 items for our wellness.
Yes.
For our wellness journals.
I've got one, and it's quite similar to the one I've just said.
Please, go right ahead.
If you have an issue, let's say I'm your friend, and I have a leg that bends a little bit too much and it hurts really bad. I'm with the same doctor for months, years, and they keep saying it's the same issue, and yet nothing is getting better. So either I'm incurable, or the doctor isn't exactly the best one, and I could definitely do better. Because let's say I'm incurable, finding a different doctor, not going to harm me. Mm-hmm. If the doctor's wrong, then hey, just like your friend, I can get a proper diagnosis with a proper doctor.
So you would say you would want to evaluate if you're getting anywhere with your current doctor.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Or doctor or therapist as well.
That's true. If you're not achieving any of your goals after months or years, then it's definitely time to start looking for somebody else.
Yeah, just keep tracking of your progress, because I have known psychiatrists and psychologists, therapists, who actually keep you checked in on what your goals were like a few months ago, how you were feeling months ago, and comparing to how you feel today. And they're like, hey, look at this progress we're making. And I'm like, that is a golden sign. You're actually going somewhere.
That sounds fantastic.
And if your doctor's has no idea who you are for like 5-10 minutes after you step in because they are reading off the chart like, who is this person? What do they want? All right, okay.
I hope I, having been to a doctor like that, I hope never to see that again.
Yeah, if you're treated like an object in a conveyor line, probably a good sign to move on.
Yeah, just move on. So, second item for this week. This one's going to sound a little funny, and a lot of people's reaction will be to dismiss the idea. I want you to sit with this one. Write down a list of goals for this decade. Please ignore if this is realistic or not. Ignore how realistic the goals are. Just write the list of goals for the decade. And even if it's 5 items, 10 items that you want to achieve this decade, you might be shocked at how many of them you actually manage to get through in a decade. It will also give you back the sense that you do have a direction in your life.
Yes, because like we said with public doctors, you might just get a job and, well, that's all I had, and then just keep coasting, and that's not a nice thing to be
It's
doing.
really not. Third item on our list for this week
Is to make a list of your skills.
So you're going to have to explain this one to me. I have a lot of skills, but my skills are down to, like, I can set some really good times in a number of video games. But also, I can do calligraphy. Is it just a complete set of your skills? Or what are we doing with this?
I would say to go as accurate as you can. In a sort of getting to know yourself exercise.
Right.
Like looking into a mirror, but the mirror is the page you're writing on. And you're trying to evaluate yourself. And then you can see where you are and where you might want to be. And what you can do that you might have not known that you could do.
And having a complete list of your skills honestly feels like it would be good for one's self-esteem. Like, you see that you actually do know how to do these things. You have learned these things, and you have the ability to reproduce these things given the opportunity. That's pretty useful.
Worst case scenario, you can put it in your CV.
I like that. So number 4, we're both doing this.
We are.
Figure out who in your life are your boosters. Who do you appreciate? Who builds you up? In your case, you have Kaya.
I do.
Kaya is my compatriot's fiance, and she is such a sweetheart. You've also got your local friend group. You've got me. I have you. I have my weird group of friends. I have my partners, my friends online. This podcast has been a great source of mental health for me.
Yeah, and it's a booster. It's a thing that keeps you going, keeps you motivated, and doesn't discourage you when things go wrong.
Truly, I will say I missed doing this because we've been out of here for a month, and now to get back in the studio and talk to you and talk through mental health issues, talk about goals and needs, genuinely has helped me a lot today.
And that is how you should be looking for boosters in your life. After hanging out with someone, like, did your mood improve? Did it go lower? Because if it went lower, that's probably not your booster. You probably want to spend less time with that person.
Truly. And obviously someone having a bad day is one thing, but you can track these things over time.
And sometimes the people might, well, as some negative people that will drain your energy go, they will make you feel that they're not the cause of your low mood or energy, but that you did something wrong, you have issues, la-di-da, la-di-da. But still, that is a thing to consider, that people can give you critique, that your best friend should be able to tell you, hey, you got issues, but I'm still here for you.
Yeah.
I'm not judging you. I'm just saying you have issues.
Love that. All right, and what's last on our list today?
the last one is something I would really tell everyone who feels lost or aimless, someone who might not know who they are, what they're doing, is to write down a list of their values and then during their day, track and note how many actions are in accordance with their values and how many are acting against their values.
I see. I know plenty of people working 9-to-5s who are going to make this list, look at themselves and go, Viva la Revolution!
And if that happens, I'll gladly welcome them because
all the better.
Because sometimes you really are actually asleep and just going through life, and then and one time you just like cracks and you're like, what have I been doing?
What is all this?
And the longer you wait, the bigger the crack, and the bigger the crack, the less you will be able to actually recover from it.
Yeah.
Imagine if you spend like another 10 years in that marketing call center job.
I would like to set fire to my head instead of do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The more time you spend in a place you're not supposed to, the more energy and time it will take to get to where you want to be.
I want to thank everybody for joining us this week. I've been Chessie, and this is
Zakim.
We're glad to have you, and thank you for taking this time. This is Chessie signing off.
And this is Akeem signing off. Your health is in your hands.